Okay, welcome everybody. So this is the Bookmap Academy meeting. We're going to go through and give some coaching and mentoring to the Academy members here. And it's for giving feedback. It's all about trying to help other traders become better via the Bookmap Academy. As a member, you're going to get free add-ons and access to special kind of exclusive products for free. Get our feedback and ask questions. We open the mic as well. So let's screen just a minute. Okay, now you guys should be able to see. Yeah, I have something really exciting to go through here. So just some cleaning stuff, and then we'll get right into it. All right, so general disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. So one thing I want to go through here is pairing your Discord username with your bookmap.com email. Here's why. For example, I want to show you, we're going to give you access to a new add-on I think you guys will be really excited about. And we need this information. So we want to provide this for you and get your feedback and know who we're dealing with. So are you a Bookmap subscriber? And we can help and offer elevated services for you. Okay, so access to beta programs is what I'm talking about here. Anyway, you can use your phone and scan this and fill out the form if you like. That would be great. It really helps us. All right, so let's jump in. Right off the bat, what I want to go through is a new product that we have. We've actually been offering it to India subscribers for a bit, but we have a new version of it, and it is available for beta. All right, so this is it. It's footprint. We have a footprint chart in here. There are many configurations in here. I just want to give you an overview, quick overview. We'll go over more of it in a bit, but we'll also show you where you can sign up for this. All you guys in the Academy will get it, so if you're interested. All right, so anyway, there's a lot of configurations here. There's a lot of delta subchart configurations here as well. Here we have it as a kind of mini profile, and you can see the delta on here. You can also look at the histogram, the buy minus sell on each side here, and with the delta. Like I said, there's all sorts of configurations in here, right? Let me just continue on through it, and so you guys get a feel for it. Whatever it is that you like, we probably have it. It depends on what you're exactly looking for. You'll have to play around with it. One of the unique things in here with this that I'm really excited about is the way that this works with overviewing on the chart here, and that is these two in here. So when you guys start to play around with this, the vertical smart scaling and the horizontal auto scaling, check both of these boxes, because check this out. When you start to zoom in and out, you'll note how when these start to overlap, they will reconfigure, and this will give you detailed information if you want it, or bigger picture information when you zoom out. It's a really creative solution the programmers came up with, and this is unique. I haven't seen anything like this on other footprint charts before. Also, look at all the delta columns in here: max delta, delta, pullback delta, minimum delta. The bid, ask, volume. etc. You don't have to look at all of these. You can go through here and check what you want to show or don't want to show. All right, so this will help limit it, and you can really tailor what you're looking. All right, so pretty exciting stuff, and there's yeah, looking for your guys' feedback. This is really what we want, is what is it you're looking for and how might this help? All right, so let me jump in, and we've got a few coaches here to go through. We have Jack, who's back, and Stan, and I wanted to go through very quickly a few, just a couple shout outs here, and then I'll turn it over to Jack. Trout, just wanted to show in here, really great work you're doing. You're getting better and better, more consistent, and there's a pattern in here, but you're really following something very specific, which is fantastic. This is you're developing your own strategy. So you're looking at this double top in here. You see it also in your candlestick chart. You saw not necessarily a book flip, but you definitely see high liquidity coming in on the offer here. Look at the volume up in here, though. This is something that I would, you do say weak buyers up here, but also, I would note the distinction in here in delta and also CVD is something to consider, because when you get a retest back up in here and it's making just a slightly lower high, but you do not see the buy volume, you see the CVD going down, and you also see this high liquidity coming in on the offer like this. This is looking really good. You noticed most of that in here, and then I love your profit taking down here. High liquidity right into this area in here, and then you also talked about going through. That's your take profit 1, and your take profit 2 is going through the point of control, which is this yellow line here. Okay, so you got your mean reversion trade, but you have a lot of nice confluences up in here for your setup. So great work there. And then just wanted to mention in here, I saw a few of these. You're just doing it again and again. Okay, here you do mention CVD. I don't really think there's so much negative CVD in here. I don't really see the divergence in here. The other one I was curious to see it, but here we're making lower highs in here. We know that the CVD is likely going to be down just because of all of this buy volume in here, and then some selling, but just not enough buying in here. So it's likely divergent anyway, or not divergent, but going down. But we also have the order book here, and then you start to see those sellers come in. Take profit, beautiful, right in front of this high liquidity, or at this high liquidity, and then take profit 2. And again, point of control. So almost a duplicate of what you had before. And look at all the selling coming in, right? So really nice. You also have your delta over here that you're looking at in your SVD chart here. But the session volume profile delta. So yeah, really nice stuff in here. And this is a pattern. It's starting to exist again and again. Here's another one. So you're noticing it again and again, and in fact here you have you're kind of front running the looking for maybe that point of control to drop before your take profit. So kind of interesting there. You're almost looking for that to drop. So anyway, just wanted to show that. And then DNT Matter, also just wanted to kind of shout out here. Really beautiful work that you're doing, getting into like very specific things, what you're looking for in here, and really like the use of your absorption market pulse. Okay, I think you're one of the only ones that I see using this quite a bit, and you're getting a lot out of it, which is really nice. The one thing for both of you guys, I would love to see the trades on Bookmap. Use the trading functionality in Bookmap in here. Try to link your account up with your broker, because This way we can give you much better feedback. We can see the take profits. We can see you move the take profits down or move your stop down, etc. How you're going to manage the trade, and we can give a lot more feedback on that. Trading from the Bookmap chart is a real bonus. So I would recommend for both of you to look into that if you can. And then one more here on Rob. Rob, you're trying many things in here. Now you're looking at a CVD, and this is kind of like homage to Crash F16. You got your CVD and you got your market pulse, and then just you're testing things out and checking things out in here, and worked out pretty nicely for you. It's like, and then another one in here. There's your flag or your continuation pattern in here. I just wanted to give some comments on this. You got a lot of things on the chart in here, I'm a little afraid that you're maybe getting overwhelmed or trying a lot of things, and I would just suggest try to keep it simple and try to keep it focused. What is it you're looking for? What starts to resonate with you, and then mark those things up. Just take it one step at a time, because it's overwhelming, and I don't really know what else to say in here. But you do recognize this consolidation and this breakout, and then pull back here. So anyway, yeah, just one more on Rob, and then we'll turn it over to Jack. It is on this one here. I made this comment before and last week, and I just wanted to follow up again on this. That for taking a position in here, there's just not enough to really, we're looking backwards, and to make a decision in here. Now you got in here and got out there, and yeah, I mean, I do see the strong move here and all this back and forth in here, but it just seems more random to me. That I don't really see anything in here that gives me a really solid feeling that this is going to continue. Maybe this buy volume in here, but boy, it could just turn right around and come right back down. Now you do have the order book on your side a bit, and you are leaning on this in here. But I would love to see something in here that just gives you a lot more to lean on. It is this information here that will make it a more likely outcome for this to happen here. So that would be my only comment on that. And other than that, though, Rob, keep going. Great stuff, and love the work effort here. Let's turn it over to one more comment before turning it over. Welcome, David. We've got David Blake in here. He's part of the Bookmap Academy from long ago, and he's checking it out in here. And David, we can open the mic for you if you like, if you have any kind of comments you'd like to make on some of these things as well. And maybe invite David in for some guest coaching next time. All right, so let me stop sharing here or leave the stage, and turn it over to Jack.
All right, let's get this going here. So that should be active there for you, Bruce.
Yep, looks good.
Awesome. So thanks for coming back. It's been rough, so I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to see a lot of familiar names here. It's really good to see people being consistent even in my absence. So it's great to see that the community that we were trying to build here is really continuing. That's something that Bruce and I were really adamant about trying to continue utilizing. Stand, slow down. They've been great at kind of keeping that momentum going. So it's really great to see. The three traders I've got today, the first one is Vinny V. Vinny, this is the second time I've reviewed him. He's done a great job. He posts most of his stuff over on Instagram, and we could see it here, and I'll kind of break into this a little bit. And what we see here in Vinny, first off, is one of the most important thing here is he's got that strategy name. So when he comes back to this as a journal entry, days, weeks, months, years from now, he'll know what the strategy was, and he'll be able to kind of react back to that. Next in here, he's annotating, his signal, what he's looking for. And then he's got that entry signal. Now, if you're not using, or your platform doesn't necessarily link to Bookmap, this is a great way to do it. Just signal where your entry is, because this allows us to take a look at things. And what we can see here is, we can see he's kind of entering at the top of that previous high right there, and he's looking to kind of continue on from that entry. The other great aspect there is he's showing that liquidity support, that passive liquidity in the order book, and you can see that at 4 there. And then you can kind of see, as that price moves up exactly where he wants, that continued support gets even higher, and he's got his upper end target 1 location there. This is a great concept overall. That lower level of passive liquidity, one of the great reasons to look for that he's notating here, is because it can act as kind of a supporting pressure. If price kind of rejects because of a reduction in buyers, that liquidity can kind of absorb price and give it a little bit of stability and a little bit of a bounce. And that's exactly what you see here. Price kind of interacts right at about 540 here, and you can see it kind of continue on higher. Now, he adjusts his runner as he's moving through this trade, which is great to see. He moves his runner on his target to that upper band of liquidity there, and it does eventually reach there. This is a great adjustment with his contracts, letting his runners run, letting him get more profit, and reducing his overall cost basis on the trade, making sure, he's essentially going to be trade neutral at that point, right? Once you lock in that profit, it's a lot less pressure off of you. And if you're a new trader, this is an important concept to remember. Taking a little bit of pressure off of you will allow you to let your runners move a little bit more, because one of the hardest things that a trader is going to gain with experience is, when do I get out of a trade? What am I looking for when I get out of a trade? And how to not paralyze yourself as you get that information. And this is a great example of how to kind of make those adjustments on the fly and how to kind of go over this. The only overall concerns that I had on this is kind of lack of knowing his overall strategy here. I don't necessarily know exactly why he decided to go long here. I don't know how much the CVD signal impacts his overall trade thesis. But that's obviously going to be different for every trader. I wouldn't necessarily enter a trade specifically only on a change in CVD signal. I would look for a lot of other concepts there. So I would maybe annotate some of those informations, but if you already have that kind of set up in your overall trade style with this specific strategy name, I mean, that's totally fine, right? Like, I do the same basic trades over and over again with my opening range trades. So I don't necessarily annotate those every single time because it fits in the strategy name. So kind of, if that fits you, Vinny, that's kind of some of the information that I would look for. If it doesn't really fit you and you've already taken care of that, don't worry about that. Aside from that, one of the other things that I would kind of look at is I'd look at maybe archiving these externally or in Discord. The reason being is with Instagram, you can kind of see in this image, it's a little granular. It's kind of lost some of its fidelity, and this is due to the compression of Instagram as a whole. It looks great on mobile, which is what Instagram is mainly used on, but on a web platform, it doesn't necessarily look as good. Again, this is just kind of one of those, like, if you're going to save this image for a long time, it's probably better overall to do that, because you get that full resolution, especially if you're using Bookmap on, a high resolution monitor or a 4K monitor or something like that. You'll have a lot more resolution in your image overall, and you can zoom in on things. That's kind of if it fits you, though.
Let's open up the mic. I don't know if sorry guys, I had to kind of blaze through some of my images, but let's open the mic.
It's okay. I looked. I don't see him in the chat.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked already. Yeah, I do see my next trader, though. He's down at the bottom down there, JYF Trader. He's actually the next guy we've got here. I'll post this this entire Notion so you guys can look at that, and I'll be tagging all 3 traders afterwards. JYF, if you would like to talk, we could go ahead and get him here.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Okay, so this is probably one of my favorite trades that I looked at over the course of today, and I looked at probably 30 overall. And it's my favorite for a couple of different reasons, but there's also some takeaways that I'd like to have here as well. You can see here that it's posted on Twitter and it's a YouTube video. It's a 90-second YouTube video. It's incredibly short. I'm not going to play it here. I'll link it in the image and everything else. But I took a couple of quick screenshots out of it. And what we could see with this trade here in this image, we could see that his first target is going to be that previous swing high. My pin is not working for some reason, but it's over there on the left. It's pretty obvious there. It's that previous swing high, and that's where his target is. And essentially what he's looking for is a rejection of this under liquidity, this lower liquidity down here. And you can see where he's got his stops down here at the bottom of the image, and they're below that IB high target level. And we know that it's the IB high because he ends up showing us this information in the video. Again, I'm not really going to go over that in the video here. And you can see that he actually gets the move that he wants, just like he wants. And you can see that he got one of his targets, and you can see the continuation, and he's looking to take profit just before the next level of liquidity as well. I really urge traders to go and look at this image. If you would like to produce the content for a video platform, whether it's Twitter or YouTube, I really urge you to take a look at this one. The reason being is because this particular video has done something that I don't think a lot do. One, it has incredible pacing. It keeps you engaged. As it's moving, you can see the fly-in of the text. You can see the other things. Now, one of the problems with this is, though, it's just the video. So from a journaling perspective, for newer traders specifically, if you're archiving things and you want to use your information going backwards, I recommend making sure you take an overview image of the overall trade, what you did or what your overall picture was, still having your same annotations in there, and making sure you save those. And that's kind of my critique here, is literally just that. And if JYF, if you want, you can actually just attach this to the last few frames of your YouTube video so people can see the overall picture as well. But that's not necessarily needed as long as you have it for your purposes later on. But yeah, I'd really like to hear how you like creating that content, because I really want people to see that. And I'm going to specifically link the YouTube video if you have something to say and you'd like to say something. Can you hear me, buddy? I see him there, but his mic is muted.
Yeah, he was on and spoke last time.
Yeah, his mic's muted though, so he's
okay.
not enabled.
Let me see if I can.
There he is.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, JYF,
okay.
How you doing, man?
All right, yeah. So, a lot of the comments that you made, based upon the journaling aspect of it, I totally agreed with you. And the thing is, that's something actually I've been, trying to, implement, in the future versions. And so, basically, when I started doing this, I realized when I was doing what everybody else is doing, laying it out, kind of, marking stuff out. And one of the things I found is that I needed more of a linear approach, basically, to, go from, where I started to where I end. And even then, some of the stuff and ideas that have been developing have actually added more of that. And so one of the things too is I've realized I still can condense that into basically just a minute. But what I'll do now is just that I'll have that, just a quick screenshot of a lot of different, progression in it. And that way, basically, you just pause the video, look at it, and then move on to the next step from there on.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's kind of what I was thinking you were doing exactly.
Yeah,
I was kind of like in tune with what you were doing with your video. I watched all the ones that you had there listed, so I was seeing your transitions as you were going. So I kind of gathered that. That's kind of why I mentioned it. So when you look at the comments, you're going to see exactly that, basically.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. Is it's like some of the time I'll start making those, and it gets to a point where it's like, okay, I keep adding, and then you got to end it at some point.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to inflate the video, and that's what we've seen so often with people who have done video content so far, is that it inflates, it bloats itself so much. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight really right off the bat that I liked this, because of the pace of the video, how good it was to go through, and all of the little bits of content that you get in there. I think that it was great. overall. So another thing that I wanted to shout out, and I didn't do this in the actual notes, we see a lot of people with trailing stops. One of the things I liked about this particular image that I screenshotted, and that's the reason why I screenshotted this image, was you see your stop here in this image here. You don't move it up after you get the move there. And I think that that's great because too often we trail our stops too closely. You clearly get a very good swing low where you have your stop at, and you're just below that with one tick. A lot of people, they would see that very next bubble and maybe consider that a swing low and move their stop up again, and they would get trailed out. But that previous stop that they had would have been worked totally fine, and they would have got the continuation they needed. You let the trade breathe a little bit, and I really, really like that concept. And I really wanted to highlight that as well. That's really good intuition to not move your trailing stop up too fast. You're already positive on the trade. Let the trade breathe a little bit. If you're good with that profit there, let it run, right? That's what a runner's for. So, but yeah, man, I really, really liked the pace of the video. I know I've said that a few times now. If you are done with the Bookmap Academy later today, go watch the video. It's 57 seconds. Worth your time, I promise, guys. It's a great way to do the video content. Do you have any other comments, buddy? Or Bruce, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a comment. JYF, if you could just comment a little bit on the trade management, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Is, a lot of times what I'm looking for, like this right here is, I mean, this was, a trending move, and then was pulling back into obviously a lot of liquidity. And so generally a trade like this, anywhere else, I really wouldn't want to be, putting on without like a definitive breakout. And this was kind of trailing into it for a while. And so, but thing is that I figured the risk reward, to take on a trade like this makes sense because, especially where it was like, 2 points. And then where I was shooting for, I believe was like, like 5 or 10. And then the other one was, I mean, and what it is too is just, again, once you get into the trade, then I'm looking, at Bookmap to see, to see exactly, what the order flow is, telling me. And this particular one, when you just kind of watch it, I mean, it just keeps going up and it actually doesn't, dramatically pull back. And it was, it was just being good, I guess I would say that, because, a lot of times, sometimes you just get, if you are putting, stops in certain areas, you can get stopped out pretty easily. But this allowed you just with like, 2 lots, just can continue, to let it ride up.
Yeah, it was great. I think you got 5.5 points, if I remember correctly, on the initial there. It's kind of a really common trade. It's kind of a break and retest of like an IBH, and you're looking for an IBH continuation. That's kind of what Trader HE would look for. And then you're looking for, an IBH extension. That's kind of more commonly what some of the other guys would look at. I know exactly what you mean by looking for that kind of breakout though, where if you'd already breached the high, continue on.
And it's all about the risk reward. I mean, one of the things I've been constantly doing is calculating out exactly where, if I'm going to take 2, and then sometimes I'll just take 1. If I'm going to take 2, then I got to make sure that, it makes sense, because I don't want to be, basically going up, 2 points, taking 1, and then just having it come back down, where in the end, it's like I'm risking, a total of, 4 points, just to make, 2 a lot of times. Or I want to make sure that second entry is actually at a target that makes some sort of sense, if you know what I mean.
Exactly. And this was really solid because like I said, you got that IB high there, but you've got so much liquidity. And I mentioned that in your note there. You've got so much resting liquidity in the order book there to provide that kind of cushion to absorb price when you get that continuation. This is a great trade. Overall, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the video. I think there's a second trade in that video as well, or I think it's the continuation of this one, really. But yeah, this is great. Do you have anything else, Bruce or JYF?
I'm good.
All right. So the next one is the first trade of VAK412. He's looking at a little bit of a correlation here between the two. And it's a side-by-side setup. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. This is great if you have the screen real estate. A lot of people don't necessarily have the screen real estate. So just kind of be aware of that. Now, One of the great things that I like about this is he notates similar structures between the two instruments. And I really think that that's kind of fantastic here because he's looking at, and you see that at 5 and 6 here. You can see that he's got that passive liquidity in both books. Now, generally, what happens here is that market makers have some correlation between both of the instruments because of the exposure of the underlying assets. You know, Apple, Tesla, they're in the S&P as well as in NQ, right? So you're going to get that kind of similar structure there. So a lot of volume might be coming from NQ, but it's going to affect the ES market. So that's kind of a great thing here. Obviously, at 3 and 4 at the top of the image here, you can see that he's annotating. You know, I'm looking at the NQ chart here, and I'm looking at the ES chart there. And then obviously the staple is, you know, what is your strategy? What are you looking at here? And this is PB long. That's the name of his strategy. He's looking for a buying volume, market pressure, VPI strike, and a liquidity zone, giving him that rebounding kind of pressure. So you can really see the trade criteria here, which is something that I mentioned that Vinny, we don't necessarily see earlier, right? We don't necessarily know that. Now, Vinny might have that information already, and that might be good for him. But if you don't know, or if you don't have that information, putting it on your image is great. You can see that. That way you can remember back weeks, days, months from now how these things work. And you can see what he's looking for in his targets here. So these are really great concepts. And you can really see his market pressure spike that he's looking for. And he gets kind of exactly the right move that he's looking for. Even with those things, though, there's a couple things to kind of take away from this. While you can see the correlation, you might not know, but you can actually track the correlation of the two markets in one with the correlation tracker. You might not know that. So if you trade NQ, you might want to add the ES correlation. You can still have them side by side to get that actual like granular view that you see, but it might give you a little bit more of that correlation image there. It's one of the add-ons that you should be able to use. Aside from that, I'd like to see really kind of a concrete annotation of where your entry and exits are. Where we can see that your targets are those targets, but even if you're simulating, even if you're just kind of going with the flow and just kind of like, oh, I would enter here, just mark down where you're thinking you would enter, right? That way, when you come back to this image, you know what you're looking for. You can see that stuff because that's really important. Now, those things we see as we kind of iterate through the process a little bit, but this is a first try at this. This is a first piece of content that VAC 4112 has put together. So this is great overall. This is really good to see. I'd like to see some of his, you know, does he use higher time frame things? We can see he's notating liquidity levels in the cloud notes, but Shark Blue, it's called Correlation Tracker. I'll link it to you. We could see him annotating in the cloud notes that there's large liquidity at those levels, but are you using anything else? You know, kind of where else are you going from? But again, first image, this is really, really great job overall. I really want to see you kind of iterate on this process and continue going, VAC 412. So if you have questions, by all means, reach out to us. I will be tagging you in the Bookmap Academy channel to let you know that we've covered this. I don't see you in the chat currently. So Bruce, do you have any comments on this? Because this is the last trade I have for the day.
No, not really. Open the mic.
He's not here. I looked.
Okay. Not really. I mean, just one thing. It is the there's the functionality, the linking the charts tool there.
Yeah.
What is it called? I forget.
Correlation tracker?
No. It's to the left of on the toolbar there. It's like 1, 2.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You can link the chart.
The icon link.
Yeah, together, and like so when you move on one chart, it will make the same spacing move on the other chart. Which is a great way across all charts. So if you have like multiple monitors and you're focused on the ES, want to see how Microsoft or Apple or whatever is working, then you can do that. So
I use it often on my equities because that becomes a big deal.
yeah. And yeah, it's a great feature, and we don't cover it very often. Yeah. that and then the correlation tracker. I know you use that a lot.
I do use it a lot. I love myself some NQES correlation. So, and obviously you can see in my chart, I have all the different major Mag 7s up there,
Yeah.
along with Eli Lilly, which I've been trading a lot lately. But that was it for the three traders. Vac, really great first entry. Vinny, great to see you continuing on, and JYF really nailing it with the short form videos. So I had three great guys this week. So thanks for making life easy for me. I really appreciate it, guys.
Okay. Let's see, David, if you have any comments anytime you want to jump in, feel free. Also, slow down if you have any comments, or Stan, just feel free. Slow down, we give you a break. Thanks for all of the efforts in recent weeks here. You're on vacation today, but
Hiatus.
yeah, thank
Hiatus.
you for all the
For
great
those
work.
that don't know, David is a very active bookmap trader. He's very active in the Spot Gamer Discord as well. He's a great guy. He consistently does a lot of really great trades. So
Hey, there he is.
Yeah, I found so it's great to come along today. Look forward to coming along more frequently. As Bruce said, we go back many years, Bruce, don't we? Since since I think we've probably first started chatting about 2020 or something like that, or when you gave me a call on the phone. It's good, great to see these posts. I echo really what's been said. Very much the correlation. Those that have seen my trades, whether it's in the Spot Gamer Discord or elsewhere, a huge fan of looking what's going on, whether it's in ES, and then comparing that, as Jack has said, whether to any of the individual stocks within Mag 7, Mag 3, whichever we want to say. But even if you haven't got access to those, just looking at NQ, if you look back to some of the stuff that Webbies I did with Bruce many years ago, I was looking at NQ pretty much like we've got here, looking side to side. And seeing where one is kicking along. Another thing that I would add in with some of these comments is, as well as looking at charts, I really focus on the time of day. So whether it's the opening bell in London, opening bell in New York, when Chicago's opening with oil and gold and so forth, newsprints. So often when you get these moves, not always, but often when you get these spikes, these volatility scooting around on the charts, that's driven by a reaction to something, whether it's fake or real. I don't really mind, but so sometimes if you're capturing that, it's inflation numbers that come out, it might be NFP, it can be anything, and putting that into your content gives some narrative. I mean, Bruce, you probably recall many years ago when we used to do a lot of posts on Twitter, sort of copying Scott's, stops going one way and icebergs going the other. Those are really effective at a particular time of day, and very much when news came out. You've seen it just here on the closing bell on ES. It's scooted up 5-6 points. You got icebergs going one way, stops been going the other, and that would have been a simple fade the spike into the close. So putting that time in. I'm rambling here, Bruce. Sorry.
and kind of going along with that timing, though, a lot of times, you'll hear about the kind of lunchtime lull where volume's not nearly there. People don't realize that correlates to London closing also. Like London trails off and we lose that volume. So US volume doesn't pick up until, another hour or two later. So all of these different timelines kind of line up throughout the day. And like you said, it's incredibly important to kind of keep your head on a swivel almost.
It is, no, very much, Bruce. Again, I know I keep saying the same line. You recall when on those weekly sessions we used to have them, I'd be chipping into you about London close coming up. And it can be a really good 180 where, so you've had a rally up, London looks to close, and that's 4:30 p.m. UK time, 11:30 New York time. So if those day traders, institutional day traders, have been making money, they'll typically be closing up, and that's going to move the market backwards before it usually then continues. And as Jack has said, another good trade for me is looking at that 2:30 New York time. People are coming back from lunch. Some of the algos, old school, have been turned off, so the real traders are then back at their desks, and that can then be in that final sort of push into that final frame of the day. So picking up some of those into some of the posts can, certainly from my end, can be very helpful. Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah, excellent.
Well, I'll jump off the stage here, and I will let. I believe Stan's up next,
Yeah,
huh?
Stan is up. And Dan, if you could, it looks like the link I posted. Oh, it looks like you there. Accessibility to the footprint chart for. So that and Stan, let's get Stan up.
Hey,
Hey, Stan, how are you? So
good.
actually, that's right. I'm going to share screen. So hold. Screen. Got it. Okay. Can you guys see?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see. So, yeah, today I will start with Shark Blue. So, he's posting a lot those times, and he's very consistent and looking at the same and adding like kind of morning meetings, like what he's looking for on his different interest points. So first, he made description about what was happening, news, today's or everything else. What can give him like better context about where he will try to enter in. Then
Yeah, let me know
yeah,
where to go. Guide me along.
yeah, perfect. So yeah, the description is above. Yeah, exactly. So it's all the description. Then he's looking for, and then confluences. So I don't know if it's like your checklist or just what you are identifying in your slides.
Let's invite him up on the stage here to speak.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, hey, yeah.
Hey, yeah.
So yeah, I found very great like your money meeting, and then for your confluence, then you were highlighting. I don't know if it's your checklist or just what you were looking in this slide, but overall, like for all your trades, it's look like kind of a checklist.
Yeah,
Um,
I look at the same things every day.
yeah, but that's really perfect. Really, so you can go over the first graphic. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, I had a few things like I took both of your images and just highlight what I would maybe what would be great to add on Bookmap and really see what how we can really give you this confidence when you are entering in the trade. Like for example, so you are waiting for a break of the trend line, and then your 1, 2, 3 setups to enter, and we can clearly like recognize those short-term liquidity in the blue rectangle, plus like your relative volume and your dots like clearly want to push the price. I don't know if you took some of over 50 at this time.
That would be in the other screenshot where the trade
Yeah,
levels up.
In
sorry, yeah,
this one here.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah, so
yes,
this trade I didn't actually take. This was just me analyzing the price action in hindsight, as I'm a top picker in recovery, and so a trade like this, I'm looking to find a counter trend reversal to get in alignment with the higher time frame trend.
Yeah, and really it's perfect. But I was just like yeah, saying about maybe highlighting more those short-term liquidity. And yeah, so I put the blue rectangle on the other images to really see like how Bookmap is helpful and what you can't see in just a bar chart.
Yeah, absolutely, Stan. I mean, you always point this out time and again, and it's just
Yeah,
such a good reminder. I mean, guys, you don't even have to look at volume. You could just look at this, how it affected price. Now, is that important? So yeah, adding this into this is part of the setup and the this will add an edge.
Absolutely.
yeah. And plus then you break your imbalance with so a steep move, and you could like maybe potentially look for a black pattern to maybe enter back. Like I know, like in your previous trade, you were you took like a 3-point scale.
Yes, three points after the entry to scale out,
Yeah.
and then
So
I look at the trend line pivot itself, and either
yeah,
cover the full position there or look to leave something on.
yeah, perfect. Yeah, just keep. You are doing a great job. Really.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I have to make a comment here. I really like this going from this image and then looking over at Bookmap, and you know, your 1, 2, 3 pattern over here, but like and then the continuation, break through, bounce off of it, and continuation, and then you know what you got here is like Stan was pointing out. You know, you got all of this here on your side. You identify the volume in here. Got your migration to the PC, and then it trades through it, bounces back off of it. Yeah, really nice. Anything else, Stan?
No, for me it's perfect. Just keep posting.
Okay, Shark Blue, do you have any more comments on that?
Thank you guys so much for your insight. I really appreciate it. I was kind of all over the place, looking at too many things, and since joining the junior academy, I've really tried to just focus putting my what I call my macro thesis and my micro thesis together, and just focus on one thing, and it is helping me.
Yeah, I
It
mean
is helping
it's
top
totally
picker
working.
rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, is fantastic to hear. And identifying these things, and then looking at your bigger picture as well. Uh, uh, I would also like it whenever you feel comfortable, Shark Blue, but to see trades on Bookmap too, like where your entry was, and you know, you can also, you guys, I just want to reiterate about the trade management, because we're going to cover more and more about that, and you know, showing your brackets and your move. One of the nice things in Bookmap is you can't escape it. Any movement or any change that you make to your trade management will be captured on in time, so you will see it when you did your stop or your whatever it is. That's a great coaching tool for yourself for debrief.
That sounds really beneficial
Yeah.
to look at in hindsight.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So if anyone else have any comments, David, Jack, uh, slow down, or anybody?
I like the bully in there, Bruce. That's again an old phrase we used to use. The price getting bullied up there on the heat map. I also like the filtered heat map, if I'm correct on that. That's something I use myself as well. It just sort of helps declutter the information out there that we're looking at, and also as a post as well. Sort of, I don't know exactly what my settings are currently on. I change them sort of day to day, but that's a nice way of showing that. The other thing that I like to get, I apologize, I keep saying about me. The other thing I like to keep an eye on, particularly on that sort of breakout going up, is I do use the time and sales, whether that's on Bookmap or on another app, because that to me can really show the pace. You've got the speed, and Jack talked about that a little bit on the video posting. But when the price is, we all know what it's like when the price is moving, to the floor sort of thing. Looking at a time and sales and seeing what's coming through and whether you're seeing more green or more red, when that price is going vertical and you've got that bullion of the price up, then is the time to be really spanking on, in this case, on the bid and scaling in hard, knowing that it's a lower risk trade.
And would you be looking for the tape to speed up at that moment? You're saying bullying?
Very much, yeah. I've got on my time of sales, I run it on Ninja, and I've got the first column filters trades everything above 20 lot contracts, and then the next one I either run at 50 contracts or 60 contracts. The other one I've been using on Bookmap is the large trader alert, and I think I've got that set at a moment on 100 for ES. So these things are all confluence. You're right, you do see the tape moving quickly, but as it's filtered, it's not moving as quickly as unfiltered, obviously. So and the phrase I use, I talk about Cindy Crawford. So if I'm seeing lots of red going through, then that's good. I prefer to sell than buy. If I see lots of green, then I'm buying. It's coming together as well as seeing that pace. Tick charts are great for that as well. Those that have seen my post, I'm a big fan of tick charts, and I run that fairly fast, whether it's 210 tick or 300. I love seeing those candle charts you've got there. I do like candle charts, and I've been posting quite a lot lately of a 30-second chart, as well as everything else I've got going on. But I do like candles, yeah.
Also the opposite. So if you've got a big move like that, and then the tape's just kind of not doing anything, the pace of the tape is just kind of, stalling, essentially. That matters just as much as if it continues, right? And then maybe you want to be looking to take profit or moving your take profits higher so that, maybe you get trailed out, but you still allow that potential runner. So when you're looking at pace of tape, it works both ways, right? You're looking at the speed, and then you're looking at, okay, well, maybe we don't have as much speed, because sometimes you'll get a rejection. So it depends on the context, Blue. So.
Very true. And if you mix that in then with the volume bars at the bottom of the chart, whether it's on Bookmap or from my other platform, Ninja, as Jack is just saying, where you've got to fake out the price is going up, it's not supported by volume, it's not actually supported by any bidding, the tape's not going the other way, then for me, I'm then looking, okay, when's this going to start to fade back down?
And you can see this also in the market pulse add-ons as well with the volume pressure. You can see the volume pressure. If it starts, peaking back to zero after a really harsh buy, then that kind of gives you that pace of tape feeling as well. So it depends on which strategy you're going to use, but there's absolutely nothing wrong. Time and sales is huge. I use it for options trading, which, it's super massive there.
It is, yeah, and I'm going to sort of besmirch Scott here a bit, because I apologise I've not listened to Scott for a little while on his webbies, but I often felt he was always bashing time and sales, sort of like it wasn't so much a useful tool anymore. He might say something different if he was on this call with us, but I'm a big fan of time and sales. Yeah,
I don't remember if he uses it much anymore. I know that he still relies heavily on his stops and iceberg strategies, which hey, he's working great on them. So.
Guys, let's move on. We're almost coming up on the hour here, and we got a few more that want to go over, and Stan has given feedback on. Just one thing to mention on the pace of tape. We will be coming out with a new market pulse tool as well. So you're going to see your volume pressure and your pace of tape. That will. I'm very curious. I haven't played around with it, but I think this will allow you to even not have to do all that filtering. we'll see. You can open up multiple pace of tape market pulse tools as well. So you start to see that ping, and maybe that's more than enough. We'll see. I just wanted to let you know about that. All right, so let's move on to McLoco. Stan?
Yeah. So yeah. Secondly, we'll have MC Loco. So overall, that's a good analysis. You can directly go on the graph. He didn't say that much overall. Like I don't know if he's here or not. But sometimes just simplicity. It's good too. But it would be great overall. I say the same, but highlighting the behavior of the market, like how, like for example, those bubbles are changing, or like so the exhaustion on the top, previous high where buys get absorbed, and add more things on
It's a beauty. I mean,
walking. That's good.
yeah, sorry, Stan, you were cutting out a bit.
Okay, so yeah, actually he just put price divergence and no biased interest output. And then I put a blue rectangle for short liquidity and red circle for behavior of the market, how it changed and how it could take advantage of it.
So, Stan, where would you be looking for entry?
So there is no buyer interest. We got like a first steep move to the downside.
Here?
Yeah, exactly. Plus, so then exhaustion, and after that, for really low conviction, from buyers. Then sellers came back.
So you would be looking in here?
Yeah.
Smooth, nice. Yeah, I think that's really great.
Still.
I'm sorry, Stan. I'm interrupting you.
No.
But you're cutting out, and I'm not sure if if you stopped or not. Just a few things. Like I think really nice feedback there. High liquidity, conviction on the upside, but exhaustion here. And then look at the flip, like you had illustrated here. Buyers, sellers, and you got your divergence as well in CVD. So just really simple.
Taking advantage of what you are looking.
Yeah, very, very simple, but really, really effective. And then especially you can even see the move through here, your point of control way back down. Point of control, this is kind of looks like it's, I'm not sure what time frame you're on, Coco. I don't know if you're in here. If you are, raise your hand and we can mic. But anyway, yeah, nice, very nice follow through to the downside, and then target your high liquidity. They look pretty eager to buy on down there. Stan, anything else in?
No, just if we can add maybe more annotation and give us more explanation.
Yeah. Also trade management, I think.
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, exactly. We took part of this trade.
Okay. Let's if that's it, then we'll move on.
Yeah, okay. That's good. So next one it's Caesar L. So yeah, overall great trade. You are always looking at your pivot point. So you, as we can see on the images. Yeah, exactly, on the top right. So he made like the pivot and how we open, where he took part and where he took his profit. So he clearly recognized like the short-term liquidity, the behavior of the market by CVD or VPI. It would be just great to tell us more about the volume dots or the relative volume. But yeah, again, keep posting. It seems like you are doing every time the same. So
Hey Stan, thanks. Yeah, something I'm trying to be better at, I think I mentioned last time, is nailing the open, and not forcing it, only taking it when it's there. Uh, there's lots of selling at the open in a breakdown range. Thankfully, like when it just opens and dumps, it's okay, I'm gonna miss that and I'm okay with it. But this one gave me a nice consolidation. Um, it also gave me a couple good points to add. I wish I would have taken it, but I don't think uh there was enough indicators to add. I'd like your guys' feedback to see if you guys see anything that would have led you to add. Um, and yeah, just having those nice big wide liquidity bands that we get at the open, that I I consider them long-term liquidity, right? Because they look so different from what we know as short-term liquidity. Uh, so seeing those, like, price will always gravitate to those to one side, right? So yeah, and afterwards, after that second yellow square I have there, we started seeing sellers be more aggressive, step down, and yeah, it was an easy hold to my target. One thing I'm trying with the CVD is also not just seeing where it is, but seeing where it isn't, right? Not how high or how low it goes, but how high or low it doesn't go as well, right? We were barely getting any positive prints here, so that also helps me to hold.
Yeah, great way to hold and hit your target. I know you were mentioning or kicking yourself last week about that. I'm curious, since a lot of this liquidity is getting filled on the way down, and it's also hitting your R5 here on your higher time frame. Did you see a bounce here at this point?
I don't believe so. No, this one actually went all the way down. Sorry, this is supposed to be S4 and S5, and it went all the way down to S6 where it bounced from there. That was the lower day. Tesla seems to be really, really respectful of the pivots. Out of all the stocks that I trade, this one, whoever's trading it on big uses pivots too, I imagine, because it just too often how well the levels work on Tesla.
Well, oh, that's great. One of the comments I think I made before as well is like, it just doesn't matter what kind of strategy you're trading. It could be pivots, it could be fibs, it could be mean averages. Whatever it is, though, line it up with liquidity, and you're likely going to see enhanced trading.
Tesla really respects the
yeah,
passive liquidity in the book, along with those pivots that he's mentioning. It's very respectful, and it's one of the highest optionable stocks in the entire marketplace. It is, I think it is the highest by far.
Oh yeah, in terms of volume dollars and just actual contracts, not
Actual
even close.
contracts trade, yeah. And it's ridiculous. And all of those liquidity are likely market makers at different areas having to, cover or um, get long or short based on different positions. It's incredible how much volume it is, even though its margins continue to come down.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, any more comments on this one?
yeah. For me, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, good.
On to Alan. Wrap it up
Yeah.
with Alan here.
So yeah, Alan is too like posting a lot for a long time. So I think you exactly know what you are looking for and when you are entering. So I can just say for me, take advantage of highlighting the relative volume plus liquidity. You can directly go in the images, if you don't mind. Yeah. So yeah, highlighting like the exhaustion when the red circle, the middle of the graph.
This one here.
No, just on the left.
This one here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like recognize like the exhaustion plus your the VPOC migration, and you directly took the trade, but just for me at confluences with the other flow. Like we can clearly see like buyers stepping in with the relative volume going up, plus the liquidity. Then I highlight, and then it didn't look fake for me, the blue rectangle. But yeah, keep doing. And yeah, you took a nice profit. So yeah, I would just say maybe to take the trade on the Bookmap or to link your account as Bruce said. But
So
great job.
let's open the mic for Alan. Because Alan, some interesting things here. I'd like to kind of see what you think.
Yeah. Hey, you hear me?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
the like you got out up here, and maybe go through the trade management a bit, because hold on, Alan. Like just like it's the VPOC, because you're trading a mean reversion, and
no,
so this is you've got your your migration up into here, and yeah, just then you can walk us through that, because this is a little different.
well, the main thing of this trade, I remember being taught by you that when there's a shift in the POC up or down, here it's up by, from, where was it? 570, 600. So when I see a move that much, it doesn't always happen. It happens sometimes. So when I saw it move up and it was still going up, I felt comfortable that the POC, that's the main thing I was trying to point out in this trade, is that the POC is POC moving up or down is a confluence that you can use in your trading, which and there was high liquidity. I usually, I pointed out that I front run, and I saw there was significant liquidity above it. I covered it where it says got in as soon as POC moved higher over there. Yeah. So with the POC going higher and the momentum from market pulse and the speed of the tape, you can see behind it how big the green bubbles are. So it was going, the POC went up and it was going up a strength, and there was liquidity. And the plan was to hold it to where I got out, the front run, the iceberg liquidity, because I had with those icebergs over there, a 50 and a 100, you're ready to get out, take your money and run.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Alan, I like really nice to hear the way that you're looking for that and relying on that strength as well. You mentioned the volume. So
yeah, you can see on the bottom where it says 1025. You see to the right, not to the right, that one. Yeah. You see the volume increasing like at the same point.
Yeah.
And I also use timing sales and David's filters. My I don't know, like a minimum 10, and the maximum, I don't know, 10,000, whatever. Maximum doesn't matter. But I think, if you see like, 10, 10, 38, like those are, you see the buys, it's 51, 14, 20, 21. That's probably an iceberg going off in the middle. So I try and look at that also at the same time. But one of the biggest helps is the market pulse. I mean, I have going up, I have a bubble sound. So I know to stay in. One thing that helped me stay in the trade is, hearing the sound that I selected for the volume that's bullish. And once it stops, it kind of like, I start to decide if I want to get out or not. Because sometimes it still moves, but not as strong. But here, I mean, here I use market pulse. I just don't know. I know I can take it as a screenshot, but that also is a confluence that I use.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, that fits the way that you're trading. Like you're looking for those green bubbles, and then you're getting the confirmation as well.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
not just the mini version. It was mainly the POC getting lifted. Maybe I can make it small. Maybe I can write it smaller next time instead of covering some of
It's
the
a nice
liquid.
trade, Alan. Nice trade. And
Thank you. Good. Long time no speak.
and when it dips down, you've then got those higher lows coming off. It is a simple pattern, and it's easy sort of to pick on some of the bubbles. But as I say, what you're saying, whilst there's some thick, juicy red selling down, it doesn't take much green bubbles to be able to push the price back up. So
Yeah. Well, what was this trade? Well, who put the blue box over that area? What was that about?
Liquidity. It's hard
What,
to see
what,
though.
Yeah. It was more about highlighting like short-term liquidity that come, but
But
yeah, with Nasdaq it's quite hot.
But it's kind of like low, like blue. Like I don't see that much liquidity.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I was just looking for a bit of short-term liquidity to help the price going higher. But yeah, don't do that much Nasdaq. So I don't know which liquidity is really relevant.
Yeah, I mean, that hours of screen time. Sometimes sometimes I understand how things are reacting and stuff. So by doing this, it helps me to actually explain it. Because like Nasdaq, you expect, every reaction is what's the saying? Every action is a reaction. Whatever.
Right. I think you might want to play around with the Trader Map Pro with the Nasdaq, Alan, because you'll be able to filter for this liquidity a lot better. I'll demo it tomorrow again in the All Markets webinar.
And maybe if you are looking at Moby's webinar, he was covering Nasdaq with Trader Map Pro.
You're saying use Trade Map Pro and filter for larger trades, right?
Well, yeah, you see this lower or changing liquidity here in this area here, and also around here. It's blowing out the heat map because it's very high liquidity. Then what Stan had noted here in the blue rectangle, it's going to show a lot better the Trader Map Pro, because this liquidity here, that's just as algos on either side here, it's kind of blowing out the heat.
Less noise, right?
Yeah, we can filter those out, and then this liquidity in here will show up a lot better, and that matches your trade idea.
Yeah, it'll be less noise. Right. You don't need like all these little bubbles. The bigger bubbles, I guess that fits with timing and sales, hand in hand.
Yeah. So let's see. Any other comments?
No, for me it's perfect, and that was the last one.
Okay. All right, great. Well, then I think that's everything, guys. Look, we're rotating. If we didn't cover you, I'm sorry. We will. We'd like to give the mic out. I want to try to keep these short since we're doing them every week. I don't want people to burn out, but I also want to cover it for you guys. The one of the things, like AJ, I don't know if you were here earlier and wanted to show this footprint for you, because and I'm just curious about your feedback on the footprint chart here that we're offering in Bookmap. Maybe we'll take a look next time on that. And some of the other guys in here, Crash, CMJ, some of the other guys in here, Rubicon Trader, Steven, we get to you guys. Can't cover you every time. That's all. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for all the great effort. I think it's demonstrating. It's paying off. You guys are improving, and we're seeing some really good stuff, and some consistency in here. You're finding like the things that resonate with you and getting better and better at it. Thank you. And don't forget, try out this footprint chart, see what you guys think. You guys as Academy members get the access to this kind of stuff. So take advantage of it, play around with things, and maybe you'll find a new tool that may change. Keep the way you're trading, but in a separate study, look at some of these new tools as well. Right? Any parting comments, David or Jack or anybody else? Stan?
Thank you, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to talking with traders next week.
Excellent. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good day, and we'll capture. We'll do it next time on Thursday. Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Yeah,
Cheers,
thank
guys.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.